In the 90s, there were the big three of the build engine. Those games were Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, and the dark and twisted masterpiece, Blood. Most shooters give you a pistol as the starting weak weapon, but Caleb is not like other protagonists. He started with a weapon that doesn't just kill, it tortures. It's the weapon that taught us the power of damage over time. It's small, but it's savage, and it has cultists screaming how much it burns. Today, we're looking at the flare gun from Blood. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. We're getting close to the end of March, and I would love it if you help support my channel by helping me reach 500 subscribers before the end of the month. So, with that said, like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. It is greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. The flare gun is the king of tactical patience. Here are the stats. Projectile. Primary shoots a single flare, which is physics-based, creating an arc from your gun to the target. Secondary shoots a burst of flares which explode on contact. Damage. Landing your flare shot, the impact of it does 15 damage. But this is where the most damage comes from, and it's damage over time, or DOT, which does a total of 125 burn damage over roughly 5 seconds. I wasn't able to find anything that listed the exact damage of the secondary fire, so here's my educated guess. Since it costs 8 shots to fire, that's 8 flares that cause impact damage totaling 120 damage. Should all flares land on a single target. Additionally, each flare also applies the dot damage as well, totaling 1,000 potential burn damage. Best to use this for giant hordes of enemies when you're surrounded. Though, if you happen to know more about the secondary's damage potential, please share it down in the comments section below. Rate of fire is moderate, being able to fire a flare every 1.25 seconds. Range? This is only limited by the projectile's arc, so arc it high and the flare can go a long way. As for hitting a moving target at long range, yeah, that's a challenge for sure. And some additional stats. Ammo type, flares, which come in crates. Ammo cost, your primary shot is a single flare. Your secondary is an ammo muncher, using 8 flares for the burst shot. Ammo cap, 100. And the flare gun is also known as the signal pistol. The tech of the flare gun is all about damage over time. In an era when most weapons dealt instant hit scan damage, the flare gun required the game to track a burning state on every individual sprite. If a flare sticks, the enemy enters a state where they take ticks of damage until they hit a threshold and cook. The flare gun is the efficiency king. In Blood's notoriously difficult extra crispy difficulty, which I've tried and it is just stupid hard. But yeah, ammo is scarce. The flare gun allows you to fire and forget. One flare into a cultist is a guaranteed kill, allowing you to hide behind a corner while the fire does the work for you. The balance comes from velocity. The flares move relatively slow and have a significant arc. Trying to hit a moving gargoyle or a fast-paced player in Bloodbath, the multiplayer component of the game, requires the same kind of leading the shot skills we saw with the Quake rocket launcher, for example. The design of the flare gun perfectly fits Blood's gothic western aesthetic. It's a simple break-action signal pistol, but the sound and animation make it feel heavy. Listen to this. The sound design in Blood is legendary for being mean. There's a nice crispness to the sound of the flare launching from the pistol, which makes the subsequent screaming of your enemies even more impactful. It's a dark, comedic contrast that defines the game's tone. When an enemy is hit, they don't just take damage, they become a light source. In the dark, dingy corridors of Blood, a burning enemy lights up the room, which is both a tactical advantage and a nasty visual treat. Let alone the screaming sounds that some of these enemies make as they're burning alive. What truly makes the flare gun great is its secondary fire, the flare burst. By spending 8 ammo, Caleb fires a high-velocity flare that explodes on impact, scattering burning phosphorus in a wide radius. It's essentially a pocket-sized napalm launcher. If you're cornered by a pack of zombies, one well-placed flare burst clears the room instantly. The flare gun isn't just a sniper tool, it's the ultimate crowd control weapon. It forces enemies into a stun animation as they flail around in pain, effectively taking them out of the fight before they even die. The Blood flare gun is a masterpiece of game design because it gives the player a sense of cruel, skill-based power. It isn't just about the kill, it's about the process. It's a perfect early weapon that matches the dark satire of Blood. It took the concept of the pistol starting weapon and turned it into something unique, tactical, and unforgettable. It's the reason why decades later, every so often you get an indie boomer shooter that includes a flare gun, but none of them quite capture the sadistic joy of the original. What do you think of the flare gun from Blood? What was your first reaction the first time you lit up a cultist? And what is your favorite Caleb one-liner from Blood? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And stay tuned because our next weapon has the ability to perforate eldritch horrors. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
I hate mimes.